In the Kitchen with Eric Gardner.
Well, today is National Potato Lovers Day, so what I thought I'd do today is pair some potatoes with some salmon. This is a very easy sheet pan dish. We have a lemon Dijon sauce that's going to go over the potatoes and the salmon. I already have these potatoes about 90% done. I already cooked them. I coated them in olive oil, salt, and pepper, cooked them in a 425-degree oven for a few minutes to get those nice and close to being done. And I'm going to put them back in the oven with these 4 salmon fillets. Time to make that easy lemon Dijon sauce. I have in here 4 tablespoons of butter, which I melted. To that, we're going to add some, of course, Dijon mustard, Dijon-style mustard. You know, as I said before, if the recipe calls for Dijon mustard, well, if you want the actual Dijon mustard, you have to have that from France, because Dijon is a region in France. But you can make it in the Dijon style using some white wine, and we should say Dijon style mustard, same thing. But one of those little things like champagne, if it's not from that particular region, you're not allowed to name it that. We're going to stir that around. Add just a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit here. I'll use the rest of this in just a second in there. Ooh, just have a tiny bit left of this beautiful Round Pond Estate olive oil. It comes from a fabulous winery in the center of Napa Valley. Stir that around. Now I'm going to add some lemon juice. And you know, if you cut a lemon in half lengthwise, you get more juice out of the lemon if you squeeze it by hand than if you cut it horizontally. It's a fact. It really is. So we'll squeeze that in there, one half of a lemon. I might actually put just a little more in there. I like some citrusy flavor in this particular dish. And then finally, I'm going to put some salt and pepper in there. Stir this around. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, take the rest of this olive oil and drizzle a little bit over the salmon fillets. I'm very disappointed that I'm actually out of this olive oil as of today. I have to get some more, I guess. Well, I have some from Rudd Estate. Maybe that will be good. So here I'm going to take this lemon Dijon and butter mixture and drizzle that over these fillets. And make sure I also drizzle some of that over the potatoes, which I kind of nestled around the salmon fillets. Very, very easy. And you know what? That's really mostly all there is to this dish. Kind of spread that around a little bit. And you know, salmon cooks quickly in a hot 425-degree oven. Might add just a little more salt and pepper. And I'm going to stick that in the oven for about 10 or 12 minutes, and the salmon will be flaky, and then that means it's done. So it'll be ready to serve up at the end of the newscast. And what you can do is you can serve this with some parsley. I'm going to use some high-grade parsley flakes I'm going to grind out of here. Salmon, of course, is good for you, high in omega-3s, and you can cook this with the salmon with the skin on. These particular fillets have the skin off. It doesn't make any difference. If you are cooking the salmon with the skin on, make sure you lay the fillets skin on this particular baking sheet. You don't have to put your baking sheet, you don't have to line it with aluminum foil. Only reason I'm doing that is for easy cleanup. I don't want to be scrubbing that all afternoon. So a super easy recipe. One thing to watch, though, make sure that you don't overcook the potatoes early on, because then they're really going to get hard and crispy when you bake them another 10 to 12 minutes with the salmon fillets. And extremely important in this recipe, and really any recipe, make sure that you fully preheat the oven before you cook any part of this recipe. And it's a hot oven with this one at 425 degrees. And of course, make sure that salmon's all thawed and close to room temperature just before you put it in the oven. We'll talk about the weather after the break.